Hello, welcome back. This is Jeff Byers, and this is Annie 255, and we are on part 3 of our dynamic simulation. And what we want to do now is we want to go ahead and add active rigid bodies to the boxes and passive rigid body to the floor and walls. So let's go ahead and do the floor and walls first. Go ahead and select those, and hold down the spacebar, go to Fields and Solvers, and go right into passive rigid bodies. Go ahead and go into the option box and talk about this real quick. So we have particle collision on, meaning that it's really not going to do anything. We want to keep that on, just let that go. And we'll just go ahead and let's go ahead and reset settings and create. So it looks like it was on for a reason, okay? Because I think it's seeing it as on. So I just wanted to show you that this is what it looks like. I'm really not going to change anything. In fact, I'm going to close it, and I'm just going to let it do its own thing by clicking on passive rigid body. Okay, so that looks good. Let's go ahead and play the simulation, make sure nothing has changed. Okay, everything's still working, right? And the walls, yes. Alright, so that's good. Alright, now the next thing we're going to do is we want to make sure that the boxes are active rigid body. Okay, I don't want anything else selected, right? And I'm going to hit the 4 key just to make sure nothing else is selected. Okay, and I'm going to go back into Fields and Solvers, and we're going to go to active rigid bodies. Take a look at that. So this is activated. No particle collision is on. I'm going to go ahead and close that. I'm going to go ahead and go to Fields and Solvers and select it. There we go. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is I know they need to fall down. Okay, now before I do that, before I add gravity, I need to make sure the boxes are not touching each other. It is imperative that you do not touch the ground. You can see that little gap I have here between the floor and these boxes, and the boxes can't touch as well. They can get close, but they cannot be touching. Okay, when you start a simulation, it just doesn't work that way. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and select all these boxes. And let's go ahead and add a gravity. Okay, we've got quite a few gravities already in our scene, but we're going to keep these separate. So gravity going into the option box, and let's go ahead and reset and create. There we go. Let's go ahead and play the simulation. Okay, great. The simulation is working. So after we get something working, let's go ahead and go back. You can see them falling. Okay, let's get a little closer and show you how the boxes are actually falling, so you get to get an understanding of what's actually happening here. So it is working, and this is how you can tell if it's working, if the boxes are actually settling. Okay, great, perfect. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to set up the animation correctly. So the boxes are working. Okay, that's great. So what we want to do is, I think the next thing is, once we've got the dynamics working, we need to save it. So go ahead and save your scene. Save scene as, and let's go ahead and do number 3. Okay. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is pull that back, like we're doing an animation, and I'm going to put in a little more time. Let's put in 400 frames. Get a nice dynamic simulation. And we're going to go ahead and focus on this guy first. Okay, we're going to keyframe that at frame 1. So I can keyframe that. So I'm going to hit the S key. And I'm going to wait for about, a second before I turn it on. So 1 second. That'd be 24 frames. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have it pull back to frame 40. So there's that. I'm going to go into here and pull it back all the way to frame 40, like that. Set the key so it looks like that. All right. The problem is the water's coming out before I even pull that back. so we want to change that. And that's not going to hurt anything. You're thinking to yourself, well, that's going to blow everything that I've got done. Well, we haven't done any other animation. We got the boxes, the dynamics added to the boxes, and really haven't done much. So we just go to the emitter, the main emitter from inside. You can see that. And what we want to do is we just want to change the rate. Okay, so the particle rate is right here. Okay, right? I can right click on that and set a key anytime I want. Okay, so I'm going to do that. So at frame 1, we're going to have 0 particles coming out. Okay, so 0 particles at frame 1. So make sure you're on frame 1 on your timeline. Right click over and go to key selected. Pretty simple. And we're going to play until frame 24. Okay, and then again I'm going to have a set this up, set key, frame 0. And then we got to wait for that to come all the way open. And when I do that, you can see that frame 20 to frame 40, okay, we're going to have to go slowly with that. Okay, so as it opens up, it's not full pressure. So from between frames 24 and frame 40 will be a full rate, and that'll be 1000. Let's see here. Here we go. And then we're going to go ahead and set key. So that's pretty simple. Pretty simple stuff. And I'm going to hit the Q key and just kind of get it set up over here like that. Kind of what our play blast animation will look like, something like that, and then play it. There we go. Very cool. Awesome. Okay, so how do we knock the boxes over? Because the boxes, the rigid body does allow us to click on particle collision. Now, it's not what you think it is. It's not going to see those particles. You can select it and add it. It just causes all kinds of problems. So don't click on that. If you do, you'll have to start over again because it will explode. The boxes will like disappear, and all this kind of stuff will happen. So it's already active. Don't click on that thinking that that's going to give you particle collision from the particles. It just means that the object is allowing for particle collision. We've already done that. We've already assigned that. So that would really confuse Maya. Okay, it would confuse the simulation. All right, so what we need to do is we need to use what's called an impulse. Okay? So an impulse, what's going to be fun is calculating when the water strikes. Okay, so I'm going to play it, and it's pretty quick. So I've got to watch it. All right, so there we go, right there. I got lucky. That's usually very hard to detect or see. So 48, I'm going to write that down. I might be able to get closer to that. But 48's about right. So I'm going to write that down, 48. I got lucky. Just happened to click just right. It might take you a couple times to get it just right. You might have to guesstimate, right, to see what it looks like. And you can always change the keyframes. But I'm assuming that's going to be pretty close to 48. Yep. It's pretty close. So let's go back and let me see if I can. This doesn't really work. I'm scrubbing, you see. And it might let me scrub after it plays it a couple times. So 45, really, the first one's 46. So I would say that's about right. Okay, 46. Okay. But we might have to wait because pressure is building up, just like water, to push those. So they're not going to instantly move, right? So let's give it like maybe 5 frames. So if 46 is right where it gets hit, right, then let's wait maybe 5 to 10 frames before it actually starts pushing those boxes, because they might be heavy. I don't know. So let's wait a little bit. Let's go ahead and hit it. Boom. So 46, let's just say, is where we want to. So what we want to do is for the impulse, and this is X, Y, and Z. So we're going to be in here X, I think. Yeah, X. So plus and negative. So it'll be a negative impulse. Okay. Let's just try the 1 and see how it works. Okay. Let's try the 1 and just see how it works. Let's try that top one there. All right. So let's go to the front view. There we go. At frame 1. Okay. 0 impulse. So let's go ahead and right click and go to set key, right? And then we're going to move it forward, okay, to 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Let's go up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's good. That's a good place to start. And then we're going to do another impulse at set a key. So I'm right clicking over the word impulse and setting a key. So I set a key at 0 at frame 1, and yours is going to be different, of course. You know, this works for me, but it may not work for you. And then we want to actually push just a little, just really quick. So what I've learned is that impulses are great if you go really fast. So let's go up five keyframes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. So we want to add an impulse of something like negative 0.5. Now I have no idea. I've not done this for a while, so I'm just going to have to experiment with that. And then we're going to turn it off right away. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. And then we're going to key that impulse to be 0 again. And key. Okay. Now that's pretty. So basically at 1 it's 0, 52 at 0, 56 we got it up to -5, and then back down to 0 again. So it's done. So let's go ahead and see what happens. That's awesome. It spun around pretty good. That was pretty cool. Alright, so it's always interesting what it does. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so that's too much, right? We just want to push it. That's it just makes you laugh. You know you're gonna get something totally different, and it's just fun. All right, so let's go in here and see where it went wrong. And it just spinning like crazy. So velocity and spinning and all that stuff. Let's play it again. It's fun. There we go. Okay, you can see the spin's really going. Even though I didn't do a spin impulse, I just did a push impulse. Okay. I think it's just too much. So let's go way lower. So let's go in here. But I like how long it takes. I like exactly just enough water, yep, to get it going. So let's go over here and go up to the point where it gets crazy. So let's do like 0.1, okay? Doesn't take much. Set a key, okay? And let's go to the end, okay? And it's back at 0 again. So we're good. So let's go ahead and play it. Let's see, there it goes. Not bad at all. So we're getting close, okay? So here, -0.3 maybe. Here we go. And key select. There we go. Let's try it again. Much better. Look at that. It hits it. You know what? I want to go between the two. That's exactly what I'm looking for. All right. So go ahead and play that again. There we go. That looks great. I like that. So it could be an empty box. Yeah, that looks like an empty box. So, I think it's too much. So let's go back in here and let's go, and instead of -3, let's do 2.5. Okay. Right, cool. There we go. Not bad. I kind of want it to fall off though. That looks great though. I like that. Looks like the water is kind of getting between it too, so the water's no longer touching it. So that'd be for a heavier box. Alright, so little tweaks like that until you're satisfied. And once I do that, once I find the right amount, let's 2.8. Then you can go ahead and copy this. Let's see if I can do that. There we go. That's coming off. There, perfect, perfect. All right, awesome. Now we can stop the sliding and stuff. If you like it, that's great, but it's a little bit too much still. Like I said, it's just trial and error, and your scene will be no different. Let's do 2.6. I just want that extra little oomph, not much more. Oh, nope, not that one. There we go. Okay, yeah, just barely falling. That's great. Okay, that's good. So, let's see if I can do this. I don't know if this will let me. I probably can't do that. Allow me to do the impulse on here. Yeah, it won't let me. I can't copy and paste. Let me see if I can. I'm going to hold down the shift key and pull it this way like that. I don't know if it'll let me. And do a copy and then click on this guy here. I don't know if it'll let me do that. Paste, paste. No. Nope. I didn't think so. So let me go back. Okay, play that. There we go. Okay, this one. So I'll just do the same exact thing. Let me write these frames down real quick. So there's course 1, and then we've got 52, and then 57, and then 67. So I'm writing the keyframes down here real quick so I don't forget. So frame 1, we want to keyframe that. So I'm going to click on this guy right here, and I'm going to keyframe impulse. Okay, and then I'm going to click on this one again and go back and click on the red line. So it brings me to the next one, and that one's impulsed as 0 as well. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that one and do another keyframe. So I'm just going back and forth. I'm not copying any keyframes. I'm just using this box as a template. And then this one here, I'm going to go ahead and copy that. Control C, and then go back to this box here and Control V, and then right click over and go to set key. That makes it fast. And then I'll go back to this, and you can see I'm clicking on that little tick mark right here. Okay, and then I'm going to go to this one and just 0 that out like that. So now I've got that one keyframe. That didn't take long. And their keyframe is exactly the same way. So let's take a look and see what this one does. Look at that. Awesome. Cool. Great. Perfect. That's what I wanted. Okay. Now with these guys down here, let's see which ones are getting hit. I think it's just this one right here is getting blasted. So all we have to do is do that one. So again, that one we're going to go ahead and click on impulse, set a key, and click on one of these guys up here. Go to the next key and set a key, and then go up here, move it forward, and then click on that one. And that one's going to be negative. I think I'm going to go a little harder on this one because it looks like it's getting a lot more there. So I'm going to Control C and then click on that one, and then Control V. There we go. And just set it a little higher to 280. Okay. Alright, and that one, give it a keyframe, set key. And then we'll click on one of these guys again and move up to the other keyframe, and then click on that one again and just turn that back to 0. There we go. Okay, cool. We're almost done. Boom. Okay, I want this to be a lot more. Being pushed out a lot more. That's really important. Alright, so let's go ahead and go in there and re-keyframe this part, and let's do point 3. Let's knock that out and see if that will help. That frame there. Nope, need a little bit more. It's doing good. We're getting there. Alright, so keyframe one more time. A little more oomph, maybe 0.4. Really want that oomph in there. Key, set key. Make sure you set your key. Play it again. Boom. Oh yeah, much better. Try it again. There we go. Looking better. Okay, being pushed over. Yep. Okay. Looks great. Just for fun, I'm going to try 0.5. I want to get a little more action there. 0.5. To me, this is the funnest part, is animating and getting everything, the whole scene coming together. That's the best part. There we go. Awesome. Okay. It's not as dramatic. It's just kind of sliding. It's not being tipped over or anything. But it's pretty good. I like that. Let's just see what happens when we do a full 1 on that. That might be way too much. Let's do 0.1 on there and see what happens with that. Did I keyframe it? Nope, I did not. So -1 on that. Okay, pushed it back quite a bit more. I still didn't keyframe that right. Keep forgetting to hit keyframe. There we go. That's gonna really push it. There we go. Haha, that looks good. That's what I wanted. Just a little more. Great. Okay, yeah. So, got that. Let's bring that down just a little bit. I think 0.8 would be fine. Oops, no. 0.8. There we go. Alright. So yeah, you could go in there and just tweak on it forever. But that's the idea. You get them, you know, moving exactly the way they're supposed to be moving, and more realistically, as if you can. Very good. You don't want them flying out everywhere. You don't want to go crazy and have them bouncing off the walls. That would just be weird. Okay, great. And you can mess with dampening too, right, on these guys. So adding a little dampening does make a difference. I'm going to do 2 on that. 0.2 on that. That just helps it come to a rest a lot faster. I'm not going to worry about the 2 outside ones because they're not really getting hit by water. Let's go ahead and do that again. There we go. And see, they settle a lot faster. Alright, so maybe that was too much. Again, I'm sorry about that, but you know, it's just one of those things that every scene is a little different. And it doesn't take long to tweak these out, so I'm going to do 0.1. We just want a little bit in there. Okay, sometimes you don't know if you've got too much or not enough until you actually play it. Much better. Good, good, good. I like that. Okay, now we're ready to put them on fire, because why are we pumping water on them? We got to put out the fire. So now we're ready to add the fire simulation in the next video. I'll see you then.